Hello, hello. Well, it's Wednesday, and on Wednesdays we talk health. So I want to get started today with a really a topic that has come up already this week several times. Just random people have talked with me and said, asked the question about basically it was about weight loss, and so I want to do something today. This is a kind of not a secret, but it is something that I was introduced to a while back that has been very, very effective and makes a lot of sense when it comes to weight loss. I do want to say, however, that weight loss is not the goal. The goal is always to improve health. And the beautiful thing about anytime we decide to improve our health, the healthier you are, the more beautiful you will be. The healthier you are, the more you will find, just the right weight and the right fitness, the right everything that you need. And so, hello to everyone. I'm so glad you're here. Please be sure to let me know you're here. Put your thoughts in the comments as we go through something that may be a little bit, may seem a little difficult for many of us, but I've done it. I've helped others do it. It works just fine, and it will help you be your healthiest self and your wealthiest self. Now, what I'm going to do right now, let me see if we have anyone on. I don't see any comments. I'm going to do something I've not done before. I'm going to share my screen. Now, I'm an old-fashioned coach and presenter and trainer and teacher, and I use PowerPoint a lot to just to help me organize my thoughts. So bear with me. I'm going to share screen. We're going to go through a short presentation, and we're just going to talk about it. So welcome to everyone. Good to see everyone. I can't wait to hear your comments about the information that we're going to deliver tonight. So I'm going to share screen, and hopefully cancel. All right, let me try one more time to get this exactly right. Share screen again. Okay, here we are. It says I am sharing. And I want to begin here. A new year dawns. It's February. The year really has just begun. And I want to address this this whole issue of changing our dietary habits for the rest of 2021. The photo that you're looking at is actually one of my favorites. I like photos of sunrises, and this is one that I took right outside my bedroom window one day this beautiful winter that we had here in Grand Prairie, Texas. And so what you're seeing, of course, is the prairie. I love it, but the sunrise is just magnificent. And I think it really represents the year that we're launching into. A brand new year is dawning for all of us. So let's get started. Sugar-free, grain-free, let's do this thing. Now, before you turn away, and before you ask the question, how on earth can we get rid of both sugar and grain? I've had many people ask me, why do you do both at the same time? Well, the answer is you don't have to do both at the same time. But I would surely like to encourage all of us to set as a goal for 2021 that we're going to begin eliminating both sugar and grain from our diets. And I want to make a compelling argument for us to do that. So let's jump right into it. Going to begin with this, and this is my disclaimer. It's not a formal, official, legal disclaimer, but you get the point. I am not a healthcare professional of any kind. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I've never been trained as one, and I don't play one on TV. What I am is a coach. And as a coach, I would like to do the following. I want to certainly provide information and share some personal experiences that I feel like might be helpful. Hopefully, I will inspire and motivate some of us to take action, because that's really what it's all about. Until we've taken action, nothing happens, nothing changes in our lives. I want to create a community, this Dynamic Divas of Destiny, a community of support, because any time you're making changes in your life, you can't do it by yourself. This is not something, don't do it at home alone. We want to make sure that we have other people who are on the same road, other people who are like-minded, other people who will encourage and support and pick us up when we fall down. You have to do it in community. And so you're here, you're in community. Let's do this thing. I want to introduce some concepts and thoughts that will guide our discussions with healthcare professionals, the healthcare professionals of our choice. You see, there's great need, great benefit from healthcare professionals, but we have to, we're in charge of our own health. We are the ones responsible for helping them understand what our health goals are and helping them understand how to best care for us. So we want to introduce some thoughts, some concepts. We want to have a discussion and help everybody be more in charge of our own health. And finally, to direct us to do our own personal research. Anytime facts are stated, anytime concepts or thoughts are stated, even if I don't give a direct, this is where I found my information. Some of it I've collected over the years from many, many great healthcare professionals that I've been associated with, sometimes just from YouTube or sometimes from, off the internet. But everyone is encouraged to consider the thoughts, consider the concepts, and go do your own research. That way you are prepared and informed, and you're in charge of your own health. And that really is the goal. So there's my disclaimer. Let's move on. First question, what is wrong with sugar? Now, yeah, you've heard some things that, maybe sugar contributes to some problems with health, but I want to present what I consider my top 10. Now, I basically just Googled, and you can Google what's wrong with sugar, or, like the health problems with sugar, and you can find any number of items, but these are the 10 that I want to talk about tonight. First of all, sugar causes glucose levels to spike and plummet, so that that instability of blood sugar levels causes so many problems: mood swings, fatigue, headaches, also the cravings, those sugar cravings that just got to have some of that ice cream or a piece of that candy. That's all caused by sugar itself. And according to the research that I found, by contrast, those who avoid sugar report having fewer cravings while feeling more emotionally balanced and more energized. And so that alone, if there weren't these other 9, that would be a good reason to begin eliminating sugar from a diet. Number 2, sugar increases the risk of obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. Enough said. Heart disease being right up there with the number 1 killer, diabetes, all the issues and problems, and just lifestyle concerns and stress that comes from diabetes, and certainly obesity. There we're back to that weight loss. Sugar is one of the number 1 culprits there. And so we want to make sure that we avoid sugar if we're wanting to lose weight. That's got to be on the list of things to do. Number 3, your immune function can be affected by sugar. Oh my goodness. I heard from one of my healthcare, the main one that I follow, and you all have met her if you've been following me, Dr. Elise Hernandez. And she actually says that 1 teaspoon of sugar will suppress your immune system for 5 hours. Now, as we're all fighting to stay healthy, wanting to make sure that we arm ourselves and equip ourselves to avoid getting this COVID-19, eliminating sugar from your diet is one weapon in your arsenal of defense against COVID. So let's learn to do that. Number 4, a high sugar diet can lead to chromium deficiency. While you might say, who cares about chromium? Maybe you've never heard of chromium, but it is one of many trace minerals that regulate your blood sugar. So we're back to all of those things that contribute to diabetes and instability of your glucose levels that causes all those problems you see in number 1 and number 2. Number 5 here is accelerates aging. Enough said. Who wants to look older than you actually are? So one way, if you really want to keep that youthful complexion, if you really want to be young in your older years, for those of us who are getting on up there, eliminating sugar will help. So let's quickly just take a look at the next 5. Sugar causes tooth decay. We've known that from the time we were very, very young. And so this one may not be a surprise, but let's go on to number 7. Sugar can cause gum disease. And here was the surprise for me, which can lead to heart disease. So we're back to heart disease. And I just very recently came into some information through one of my healthcare providers about the link between your teeth and the rest of your health. Sometimes we think it's just, well, if you have healthy teeth, I have healthy teeth. But the fact is, healthy teeth and gums means, heart and liver and other parts of you will also be healthy. And sugar is the number 1 enemy of healthy teeth and gums. Number 8, sugar affects cognition in children. Oh my goodness. Do you think there's any reason that once we start putting vending machines in the schools so that kids could have candy whenever they like, all the ADD and all of the attention issues, certainly there are lots and lots of factors that lead to why kids have a short little span of attention, have problems in school, but sugar is one of those major factors. A kid who eats sugar in the morning in their cereals and then goes to school and eats candy all day and then has sugar for lunch really is going to have trouble learning and studying and sitting still in school, and will have behavioral problems as well. And number 9, sugar increases stress. Again, that's one of those enough said. Who wants more stress in your life? And the verbiage here talks about this fight or flight mode increases large amounts of hormones. Surprisingly, the body has some chemical response when blood sugar is low. After you eat a sweet snack, stress hormones begin to compensate for the crash by raising your blood sugar. The result, unexplained anxiousness, irritability, and shakiness. Now, who wants all of that? I don't know about you, but I have noticed that it also seems like anxiety disorders and all kinds of things are on the rise. When I was very, very young, we never heard of anyone who had an anxiety attack. And the older I get, the more there it is. Sugar increases stress levels. So sugar takes the place of important nutrients. And we are showing some of those like vitamin A, C, B12. A lot of these vitamins you really have trouble absorbing because of too much sugar in your diet. So is that enough? Are you convinced that it's worth it? It's worth it to try to get rid of some of the sugar. So that was sugar, but I said sugar and grains. So you got to ask the question, what's wrong with grains? And here we are. Starchy grains turn into sugar immediately after you eat them. Wow. So the fact is that all of our food turns into sugar eventually. Sugar is, major source of energy and fuel for the body. But the foods that turn into sugar more slowly are better for us. And these starchy grains, immediately, when you eat a piece of bread, by the time you swallow the bread, your body doesn't know any difference between that bread and a lump of sugar. So here are the starchy grains that we want to really just get rid of. And it's all of them, really: wheat, corn, rice, potatoes, and oats. Wow. Okay. I'll stop a minute. I'll let you kind of take your breath, catch your breath here, because if this is new information to you, it just seems overwhelming. And you may be asking the question, then what do I eat? That's just about everything. Unfortunately, this has become, these starchy grains have become predominant in our diets. And so we may be asking, what do I eat then? And the answer, of course, let's just be honest, we knew this: green leafy vegetables. Yeah, let's eat a bunch of those. And how about low sugar fruits? There are some fruit that have a lot, kind of high sugar. We know that apples are pretty high in sugar and bananas are pretty high in sugar, especially really ripe bananas. But then there's some fruit that are really pretty low in sugar. And you can Google these also and find out which ones are lowest. Berries, for example, pretty low in sugar. So we can load up on berries, blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and those are good for us. And excellent substitute for candy. How about quality proteins? And we'll talk about what these quality proteins may be. I want to stop here to just say something, because people disagree as to, what's good. If you're talking with a vegetarian, maybe quality proteins would be, the nuts. And if you're talking with a non-vegetarian, we would add in maybe meat and chicken and fish. But we'll have a little conversation about what quality proteins really are. And finally, healthy fats and oils. And we'll certainly have some conversations about what are healthy fats and oils. Not on this particular broadcast, but that's in the future. Good oils are very, very good for you. Bad oils, very, very bad for you. So we want to make sure that we focus on healthy fats and oils. So take a mental, take a screenshot or take a mental note of this. Our diet should be filled with these categories of food, and we should absolutely eliminate those sugars and grains to the extent possible. Okay. So let me just say something, though, to those who are sweetaholics, and I'm one of those. I'm a self-confessed sugarholic. That's what I am. And so I can't just stop the sweets altogether. So I'm just going to show at this point a couple of the products that maybe will help with the as you wean yourself slowly off of sugar. And here's what I want to say about these. Almost everyone that I talk with says that stevia is the best sugar, natural sweetener, sugar substitute out there. We should never use the things that are in the blue packets or the yellow packets, all of those that are chemical sweeteners. Those in many ways are actually worse than the sugar. But stevia is the preferred by most of the professionals that I have spoken with. The only problem with stevia for me, I'll just be honest, I don't exactly like the taste. And so here's what, as we get into the strategy part of it, we'll mention some of these techniques, but here's what I found. I can tolerate sugar, stevia in certain things. It adds sweetness and the aftertaste is not as pronounced. So I can tolerate stevia in, say, tea, but not coffee. On certain fruits, where I want it just a little sweeter than the fruit is, stevia is a nice option. But what I'm encouraging everyone to do is to try it. You'll notice that I've just taken pictures of these like right out of my kitchen, but the many say that the liquid stevia is better for you for many reasons than the powders. And I think that's, has to do with it's less processed. But we'll get into all of that as we talk strategies also. But I just had to say something right now for the sugarholics, the real sugarholics. Don't think you have to go without tasting anything sweet ever. There are some options here. So stevia, number one in the options list. This one is my favorite. It's xylitol, and it falls into the category of what they call alcohol sugars. This one has, for me, the best taste. And I will actually use it in conjunction with like a stevia or something else in order to just help give me the taste that I like of the sugar. Now, there is a little bit of a caution with xylitol. It does cause, for some people in high quantities, digestive distress. And you want to make sure that you are one who can tolerate the xylitol if you choose, when you choose to try this one. So that's one, and we'll talk more about that in future broadcasts. And finally, I wanted to mention these two because I have found them also to be very, very good. There's erythritol, which is an alcohol sugar, and you can find that in your health food stores or even like in a Sprouts, or really might be able to find it in a regular grocery store. I'm not really sure, but that one is good. Again, doesn't have quite the taste that I like, the taste of sugar, but mixed with a xylitol or something else, it's very good. And then this organic monk fruit. I've shown the liquid. You can also get it in a powder. It's a natural sugar. It is from a fruit. It's not the best when it comes to eliminating sugar from your diet, but it's a whole lot better than the white sugar, cane sugar that we're used to. And so I added it to the list just to give us a little bit more of an option and to let us know there are ways of getting rid of the sugars. So what I want to invite us to do right now this week is just maybe go out and try one or two of these and start making a substitute with the things that, that you do the most. Like for me, I like my coffee very, very sweet. And so I would start with coffee and try a different sweetener other than sugar in my coffee. And we will talk about some of those in our next broadcast. So just want to say in closing with the actual, official formal part of this presentation, how do we get started? I always suggest get with a good healthcare practitioner who sees the value in making this change. There are some doctors that will help you lose weight and by various means. And all of them, some of them are very, very good. But remember that weight loss is not our goal. Health is our goal. And we just went over 10 good health reasons to eliminate sugar and grain from our diet. So finding a healthcare practitioner, a doctor, for me, it's my chiropractor who's, wonderful. I see her every week, and she actually teaches some very, very good sessions on eliminating sugar and grain from your diet. But find one who will help you with this, a good healthcare practitioner who actually has the facts, the figures, the research, and the desire to help. That's number one. Second, get with a group of pilgrims on the same journey of health and wellness. And you're there, you're here. So you can check this one off the list. You've already done that if you're listening to this live stream. And then get a plan of action. We're going to work on that throughout this month. We're going to work together to get a plan of action that you can personalize for you, something that'll make it, really simple. And it will include things like finding good substitutes for the things that you have become accustomed to, and getting some good recipes, good simple recipes, so that you can figure out exactly what you want to eat. Because if you don't want to eat it, guess what? You're really not going to do it. So what I have found is that I can make very good, very tasty meals and still stick to a sugar-free and grain-free plan. And finally, most importantly, we're going to get your mind set and your feet moving. And that's always, anytime we decide to make changes in our lives, that's the main thing. Get our mind in the right place. And I just have to say, you have started right now getting your mind in the right place. And so look at this. We have 4 things we have to do, and 2 of them you can kind of check off already. All I have to say, though, about those 2, about being in the group and getting your mindset, is the challenge is to stick with it. Stay in the group and stay listening to good information, motivational information that will help set your mind and get your feet moving. So that's it. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Wonderful. If anyone has questions or comments, I'd love to see those. And next week and the week after, in fact, all through the month of February, we're going to be talking about those 4 things and the plan that we have to eventually this year. Don't have to do it all at once. This is not something where you go cold turkey, but I've planted the seed in your mind. I've spoken it. And if you're listening to this broadcast, you cannot unhear it. And so that's the good thing. What we're going to do is we're going to keep saying it. We're going to keep speaking it. Hey, Miss Gloria Wilmore, you're always here. You're always supporting. You are so much a great motivation for me. Thank you so much. And anyone else, really, share this with everyone you know. Share it with those people that you love, because of those 10 reasons, those 10 health problems that sugar causes. I know everyone knows somebody who has one of them or 2 of them or all of them, Let's spread the word, ladies. We want to not just get healthy and for ourselves. We want to leave a legacy of health. It begins then with working on ourselves, helping our families make a transition, and then passing that on to our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren. This is important. So thank you. Thank you all so much. Leave your comments in the chat. Please hit the like button, because I like to be liked. That's real positive for me and encouragement. And also, I think it's just something that helps the community here. We are a community of like-minded divas. We're getting healthier by the minute. And so that's all I have for now. Thank you so much. Stay tuned next week and stay safe, because that's what divas do. Bye-bye.